Big artist. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring up the works of Manoukian Marchuros, and then we're going to bring up the masters of the last 100 years. There's some very big and important information I got to give you guys right now. We have what are called connoisseur cruises. People in the art world that have learned about this over the last 10 years on Princess, all the P&O ships. Like I say, in the last 10 years, we've also gone to Cunard, Costa. We're now on 30% Carnival ships. It's only getting bigger. People are now having time to go home and do their homework, and they're finding out what this is about. If you've never heard of a house before, and you have no idea about real estate, and someone says, I'll give you a house for $125,000, you're going to be like, whoa, what's a house? $125,000? Whoa, that's way too much money. But then when you learn about real estate, and you learn that it's a $400,000 house, now that 125 is starting to sound pretty good. Same thing with the art world. If you've never heard about the art world before, which I'm very surprised that a lot of people have not dug into this and find out how strong this is. Matter of fact, what I'm starting to refer to now is an article that was printed by Forbes magazine, and this brings us back to a time in 1935 when they first started calculating the markets. Do you guys know, this is factual information, this is not my opinion, these are professionals in the art world. Two university professors by the name of May and Moses have calculated that ever since 1935, what has outpaced both stocks and real estate? Art. It has. And they've calculated that every single year, as stocks crash or crumble and real estate market gets shaky, people are now moving portfolios around. Actually, I had an email not too long ago. A lady sent to me, Degas, you're now my primary source to diversify my portfolio. She was sitting right over there, and her name was Lindy O'Grady, and she was a really nice lady. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we have three couples in the room that have sailed with me before. Mark, Debbie, Kevin, Leanne, Vicky, and Glenn. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get a round of applause for the three groups of art connoisseurs we have here with us? Now, these guys have done their homework. I'm sorry, I missed a couple. Robin and Rich. A huge round of applause for them as well. Thanks, Robin and Rich, for showing up today and being part of something very big and very special. Now, for the new people, it's important that you know what these people know. Ever since 1935, they've been calculating. Let's start with the Vietnam era. As stocks crashed, the S&P 500 was down 25%. What happened to art? In that era, it climbed 256%. In the year 2000, I'm sure a lot of us remember that, in the year 2000, as stocks crashed by a collective $3 trillion, collectively, art spiked up. People start moving more into the art world, fine art. 16% the year 2000, 15% for the first half of 2000, and this is not uncommon to be happening in the next little while because we know what's going on in and around the world. Gentlemen like the name of, like I said, Ted Garopolis, $355,000, he's very happy. Robert Olds, $125,000 later, he's very happy. And the four couples that we have in this room are very happy. My job is to make everyone very happy. Now, it's unfortunate, only one person can own this. It's an original. And only one person can own this. It's an original. Sir? Revelations. Oh my gosh, we had 3 or 4 of these left. I've got 175 of these in the world. Sold out, guys. Revelations has to go off the easel. Yep. Now, we haven't even started talking about this artist. I'm going to let everybody know what's going on here. If you like it, so does someone in the Mediterranean, so does someone in the Caribbean, so does someone in the Mexican Riviera. We're on 40 ships around the world. It's not rocket science to figure out 70,000 people on average are sailing with us every week. All you need is maybe a couple hundred people to like that, and it's sold out. Matter of fact, there's only 175 of those in the world signed and numbered. To get your name and to get your face on the cover of this magazine, you pretty much have to be looked at as the King Kong of artwork. Ladies and gentlemen, with great pride and great honor, we now bring to you the wonderful works of Manoukian Marchuros. He was born on August 5th, 1947, and controlled by the communist regime for many, many years of the first part of his life. He, at the age of 17, was the best artist in all of Russia. He's a master at humanism, genius of fantasy. He continues, my style is life, and I like life very much. My motive is beauty. You cannot learn to be an artist. You are simply born with this gift. The first line in his book, called Song of the Nile, reads, I have a divine gift from God to paint. Words from Marchuros. He was working for the communist government for 40 years, up until 1987, and they would give him brutal, grueling treatment. He was sick of the communist dogma. For example, they would come into a studio, and because he was working for the communist government, they would tell him what style to paint in, what feeling to paint in, what mood to paint in. It was called socialist realism. It has to have some sort of communism symbolism in it, and it had to be able to be of their satisfaction. If they didn't like what he was painting, they would come into the studio, they'd grab the easel, put his big black boots through the easel, throw the art across the room, knock the artist off the easel, and say, "That's not what we're about, get back to work." Basically, folks, an artist of that time, he was, again, born August 5th, 1947, he grew up at a time where time was very, very heavy and in control by the communist government, the communist regime. Whatever they didn't like, they would destroy it. Whatever they did like, and suited their satisfaction, they would confiscate the art on behalf of the artist, give the artist $50 for the month, and then sell the artwork on behalf of the artist. So essentially, an artist in that time, in that period, could not benefit from being an artist. It simply was literally impossible. This guy went through some of the most grueling torture throughout his entire life, but he stayed true to his inner self. In 1987, he filled out the papers, and lo and behold, was approved to come to the U.S. Now, just before he came to the U.S., after filling out the papers, the KGB showed up at his door. They arrested him, and they arrested his father. They took his father away for questioning, and he still believes today that 99% they murdered his father because nobody had ever seen him since. At one point, his father hung an American flag in his front window. Ooh, I can't imagine how that went over with the communist government. Nevertheless, they took his father away for questioning, and still today, no one's ever seen him since, and he's quite sure that they murdered his father at that point. Then, they came to Marchuros. They took him outside. Now, the message is, if Russia's best artist is leaving Russia, he's not leaving with his talent. So what they did, they firmly placed both of his hands on a wooden block, and with a hammer smashed every bone in both of Marchuros' hands, essentially ridding him of his talent. Again, if Russia's best artist is leaving, he's not going to leave with his talent. He then showed up in Grantham Park, California, with his bandaged up hands, helped over by getting sponsored by his publisher and the Tolstoy Foundation. Spent the first night on a park bench in Grantham Park, California. And he was happy. Why was he happy? Because he's free. Finally, he was free. He finally could do what he wanted. It took him 2 years just to be able to hold a paintbrush back in his hand again. He had to be helped to be fed by the Tolstoy Foundation. Well, as soon as he got his paintbrush going again, all of a sudden now he could do what he wanted to do. His publisher, his manager, his merchandisers, his marketing agents, they picked him up. They sent him off to Tokyo, Japan, where he became this huge, massive rock star hit. He was selling one-of-a-kind of originals, full-size originals like this, 150,000 to 500,000 US to the emperor and the emperor's family for a 16-month period. He bought a home in Tokyo, Japan. He bought a second home in Glendale, California. They had a huge, massive showing at the Tokyo Hyatt, where the Prime Minister of Japan, as well as the Emperor of Japan, and the entire family was there. Whatever didn't sell at that Tokyo Hyatt got sent, packaged, back down to Glendale, California, where his second home is, through Mark Bronson's contacts, my boss, the kingpin in the fine art industry, the mover and the shaker of the art world. I mean, this guy knows anybody that's everybody in Paris, France, London, England, Tokyo, Japan, Geneva, Switzerland. He knows them all. Through his contacts, we signed Marchuros to this program. And ladies and gentlemen, we have had a tremendous contract with this gentleman, and we will continue. Now, he's a smart businessman. He knows that he knows that value equals supply versus demand. He made an announcement in 1999 that he's no longer concentrating on he's no longer concentrating on limited editions and now putting more effort into one-of-a-kind of originals. What's that going to do to the demand of his pieces? Interestingly enough. Now, when I start talking about value, I darn well better have some backing to support what I'm talking about, because I am not a financial advisor. It's illegal for me to give investment advice. I've got lots of articles written over there by the people that do have those licenses and can give you that advice. I highly suggest you check those out. And I'm not an appraiser, so I will not give appraisal advice. We go to professionals that have the ability, the rights, and the licenses to offer you appraisal information, which this is one of them. Now, the piece I bought was called Midnight Lovers. It's a blue swathy piece, absolutely gorgeous. The color structures are amazing. It's a good size piece, very much like Satin Dream over there. And the last time I saw this piece selling was on the Pacific Sun out of Sydney, and it was selling at 1,400 Aussie. It's only been a couple short years, and sir, would you be so kind to help out and please tell the folks in the room what it just appraised at, and keep in mind this is in US dollars.
8,000.
Thank you very much, sir. A huge round of applause for the gentleman down front. Thank you for sharing. again, I found someone for you guys in Melbourne. His name's Irving. I'll give you his email address. He'll give you a very accurate appraisal for any pieces in this room. Now, myself, in Canada, anything that's going to appraise over 5,000, my insurance adjuster is going to demand an appraisal. Anything under that will simply fit right into your home insurance. There won't be a problem with that. But anything more than that, don't be surprised if your insurance adjuster demands an appraisal. So keep in mind, what you're getting it for and what it appraises at are two completely different numbers. Yes, now you're starting to clearly see why people are moving portfolios around. Again, I don't pretend to be an appraiser. I let the professionals take care of that, and I'm certainly not able to give you investment advice. But let's just say what I am allowed to say, there's reasons why most every art director owns a Marchuros. We are buying them for other reasons other than the fact that they're a pretty picture.
Profit.
We love them. That's why we love them.
Profit.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not my job, it's my life. I give everything I can to you guys. I search these guys out, and I can't wait to meet this guy. Someday I'm going to be sitting front and center at me and Marchuros' easel. I'm going to take a picture of his hands. I'm going to take him out for coffee to his favorite spot and take him out for dinner. And I can't wait to spend some time with this guy. And I happen to be recording right now on the videotape. Mark Bronson, my boss, is actually going to see this. So, Mark, yeah, if you have a chance, you could set me up a meeting with this guy next time I'm in California. That would be great. Hey, if you guys have enjoyed the auctions, my name is Degas. If you haven't, well, my name is Mike. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Satin Dream. I own one of these. $295 in the world. The only difference, the number above it. Out of the 295 in the world, we might have about 25, 50, or 100. We're getting to the end of the edition on this one. Lit correctly, magnificent. The lighting in here is very poor, but if you like a piece here, and you'll remember me standing front and center stage saying this, if you like it here, you're going to love it when it gets home because it's your baby. It's on your wall. It takes on a completely different meaning. And many of you see this, you're going to go, yeah, there it is. That's my art. The plant on one side, an end table on the other side. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy them for the rest of your life. Now again, no number on this one. What is it? It's an original. Estimated retail, 315 online. You're looking at 9,800. Yeah. Estimated retail artwork alone. On top of that, what do you think? Double contoured hand wrap linen tube, filet, solid wood frame, the museum quality backing board, the whole 9 yards. What do you think? About 800 in framing? Let's say 700 to be conservative. So 9,008 artwork alone, easily 700 in framing. Hand wrap linen, the real museum quality stuff here. Opening bid 3,900. Yep. Special opportunities. Satin Dream, estimated retail on this wonderful image, 59, estimated retail opening at 1,300. Reflective Love, estimated retail on Reflective Love, 5,900, opening bid 1,300. Killer price points on these. Eternal Whisper, 29 down to 13. Decide which one works best for you, your home, your family, your office. Women of Mystery, estimated retail, 29 down to 13. Blue Madonna Canvas, estimated retail, 47 down to 2,800. Please like these correctly. Yes, limited edition do hold a nice value, just not as much as the 3 originals. Please keep in mind, I never use the word afford, but I say if it's in your means, there's some real treasures up here. There's some real great pieces. 947. Original 947, estimated retail on land. You're sitting at 11,100 with an opening bid of 5,200. I'm very curious as to what these originals are going to appraise for, so I demand you take my email address and please let me know what these are appraising at. Estimated retail,